The first phase of post-traumatic growth is education, and can be summed up in the notion that knowledge is power. We must educate ourselves about two things when it comes to the journey of PTG. First, we have to understand the impact that struggle has on our thoughts, feelings, actions, and beliefs. And second, we have to learn about the possibilities to grow and experience PTG in the aftermath of struggle, hardship, and trauma. According to the National Science Foundation, 80% of our thoughts on a daily basis are negative. 80. This means that our default setting is negative. And when you add in negative events, it is very easy to see how we can get to some very dark places. And in those places, what turns negative are our thoughts and beliefs, our feelings, and eventually our actions. Our minds run with a series of self-defeating and self-blaming questions. Like, why is this happening to me? Why can't I handle this? And why does life seem unmanageable? These repetitive thoughts can often make us feel like we are broken and that good things may never happen again. Our feelings come in many forms: anger, resentment, guilt, shame, despair, doubt, fear, confusion, sadness, and the one I struggle the most with, the absence of emotion, numbness. The actions we tend to take are a short list: self-medicating through drugs, alcohol, work, sex, or violence, isolating, blaming ourselves and others, and self-harming behaviors. The important thing to know is that these actions are perfectly understandable and normal as we seek comfort, relief, and equilibrium in the midst of the hardships we're experiencing. They just aren't helpful in the short or long term. The questions we need to explore as it pertains to these actions are why and how much, because avoidance and imbalance never lead to growth. Recognizing that we are not alone is an essential part of education. To realize that our experiences and our struggles are shared far more commonly than we could possibly imagine. Or as we hear over and over in our programs, I thought I was the only one. Our mind can only draw upon what it has inside of it. So educating ourselves and understanding that struggle is a part of the process is what helps to normalize that struggle and to realize that we are not broken. It does not always have to be like this. The second part of education is learning about the possibilities to grow in the midst of struggle, hardship, and trauma. Our mind mistakes the limits of the world for the limits of our field of vision. And in these terribly negative moments, we can't see anything beyond the damage and the destruction. But it is there if you can find ways to cultivate hope and understanding. And you can do this by reading books, listening to podcasts, watching videos that are all designed to remind us that we are part of a long line of people who struggle and who can struggle well. Some of our favorite stories and books come from some of the most unimaginable human experiences. Viktor Frankl and Edith Eger at the Holocaust, Charlie Plum and James Stockdale as POWs in the Hanoi Hilton. Their stories help us understand that if PTG was possible for them, it is also possible for us. And when we educate ourselves in this way, it reminds us that we have a choice. We do not have to be a victim to the worst experiences of our life. Their stories and lessons are what allow us to begin to reflect on what we can learn from our own experiences. The power of knowledge is brought to bear when we activate what we've learned through the wisdom acquired in the crucible of suffering. This is what allows us to have the confidence to know that the journey is worth the effort. And the journey is what shapes our ability to find the good amidst the rubble and to begin the process of rebuilding.